Today we'll be working on ACT QSETs 8 and 9. Had a little problem with my PowerPoint. I've got the first 4 answers up there, but I still want to talk about them. So number 1, B, frustrating than everything else, the other choices, add separation, and we don't want separation. Number 2 is a no changer. The screen says, and you'll notice this is the shortest, simplest one. We're going to see that a couple of times today. We see it on every one of these, right? They're narrowing it down to the simplest expression. Number 3 is D, which is, this is a transitional phrase, and we need literally because that's how the beginning and what follows it is related. Number 4 is a punctuation issue. We want that colon, so it's H. How's that read? But let's be specific. And you can hear how that's the end of a clause, like it's a complete sentence all by itself. And how are we going to be specific? Well, that's what's going to follow the colon, and that's what is suggested by the colon. Okay. Number 5. It needs to stay right where it is. We put it anywhere else and it'll mess up the meanings. That's a no change. A. Number 6. The problem is that some keys don't respond and are ill-suited to be any keys. So we want the and in there, and no change is no. Sorry, H is the only one that leaves it there. Okay, number 7 is another no change. Why is it a no change? Let me find number 7. There it is, include. These include, okay, that's just a simple verb form. Hopefully you all got that one right. Number 8, you can pound away on them all you like, and the program will never continue. Another verb form issue. We want that to be G. Number 9, I guess it's because, okay, you should know this by now, right? How is that apostrophe used? It's a contraction, and the apostrophe sits in the left out letter, or the left out chunk. So in this case, IT apostrophe where the I would be for is. So A, no change. Number 10 is another no change, right? It answers the question, so it's got to go in that spot. 11 is another no change. Yeah, none of those other transition expressions work. The conjunction and is just fine. Now you may have learned at some point that you can't have an and at the beginning of a sentence, like capitalized. That's wrong. You can. Especially in an really informal essay like this one. This was highly informal. Okay, so number 12. This is a specific rule. I don't know that we've talked about this. Where do you put a question mark when you're dealing with a quotation? If the whole sentence is a question, you put it outside the quotation. If the quotation itself is a question, then you put it inside the closing quotation marks. So H. Number 13, speaking of informal tone, that's what's going to determine this one. And if you look at B, of course, if you do that, the dead keys might mess you up. That's pretty informal, but it does fit the tone of the overall essay. Number 14, the author's been asked to submit an article. Okay, we've seen this question before. Conservative business magazine. Computer use to a conservative business magazine. There are 2 things that we might want to look at here. Computer use and conservative business magazine. I think I might change my answer here. I have H, which is because the article is too informal for a business magazine. But then J is no also, because it doesn't talk enough about computer use. I think this might be J. I'm switching my answer. This is J. If you had J, good job. You beat me. I got this one wrong. Conservative business magazines can have informal essays in them, and they do. Yeah, this is a computer use issue. Number 15, a good title for the piece would be, we're back to tone. Any key calling any key. B is the correct answer here. It's the only one that fits the overall not just tone, but meaning of the essay. Like that first one, stay out of the space bar, is very informal, but it doesn't really say what the essay intends to say. Okay, let's move on to, so sorry, that was B. Question set 9. Number 1, this is a simplicity issue. Right, we're going to see a couple of these. The simplest way to express it is C, Midwestern University. Hopefully those are getting easier to pick out. Number 2, which is the following sentence would provide the most effective transition. Number 2 is F. Accounting for this kind of behavior is easy. Doesn't go into specifics, but you can tell they're going to explain how it's easy. Number 3, this is a usage issue. You need to know that when you're using unique, you use a preposition like in, which is C. Number 4, just like number 1, the simplest way to express what all 4 of those are trying to say is J, childlike love. Number 5, names like these will echo through time like trumpet calls to storied battles, blah, 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 blah. So B for 5. 6, which of the following, if added at this point, would most effectively lead the reader from generalization to specific examples? And that would be F. These heroes of baseball embodied the ancient legends, bringing them to life, because it goes from the general idea of baseball heroes to these specific examples of how they might be like these old heroes, ancient heroes. Okay, 7. This one was a little bit tricky because B and I think C look awfully close, but the reason for striding up to the rack of ash-hewn bats was to pull one down. And C has stride up to a rack of ash-hewn bats to stretch out a sinewy arm, and that's the difference. It's where that little phrase beginning with to is. So B is the correct one for 7. Number 8, this is pronoun antecedent agreement. We want the singular male, his. Number 9, what helping verb is going to fit here is D, could be seen. Number 10, so is a transition term beginning a new paragraph. That's the right answer. F, no change. Leave it like it is. And what might throw you off there is that, just like we talked about with the and, you can begin a sentence with so. You can even begin the first sentence of a new paragraph with so. So is just a transitional expression. 11. We don't want any separation between the word ideas and the word that. Right? B. 12. Man whose, possessive form of whose, does not get an apostrophe. It's W-H-O-S-E. This is just a specific English usage rule. Kind of like its. The apostrophe tends to throw you off. 13. This looks like a misplaced modifier issue. That's what they're testing you on. Inside his school book should go after opened and end the sentence with a period. So D. 14. The afternoon sun danced and played. We want that past tense. 15. This is a good ending. It concludes it. It's grammatically correct. We'll leave it just like it is. No change. Okay, that's it. We'll see you next time for QSET 10, and then we'll be done with these for the term. Thanks, guys.